A Madison County mother says her son, Moses Whitecotton, suffered dangerous delays in medical care after a serious injury during Buckhorn High School's football game against Hazel Green on September 12th. It's where we start. Amy Whitecotton says her son Moses broke his leg making a tackle, but instead of being rushed to the hospital, they waited more than 40 minutes inside an ambulance due to cars blocking the ambulance's path. According to the Alabama High School Athletic Association's Emergency Action Plan, which includes heavily suggested protocol, it says, quote, the leader will send runners to all intersections between where the athlete is located and the venue entrance to direct the ambulance to the athlete, end quote. The question now is whether this action plan was followed during the incident.
On the field, it felt like it was handled professionally. They did a great job taking care of him. And then we got onto the ambulance, and I naturally assumed that we were immediately going to leave. I want there to be a change in the policy, if there is a policy, which if there is, like I said, I'm not aware of that, where the patient can get immediate care and they can go to the hospital right away and not have to just lay there waiting on another ambulance. The ambulance being there was like a false sense of security, in my opinion. I should have just put him into my vehicle and taken him to the hospital. We could have been there much faster.
Whitecotton praised Buckhorn staff for their support, but she says athletic authorities need to review procedures to make sure no other student athlete faces similar delays. In a new twist, the popular music festival Rock the South is making a move closer to Huntsville. The change spurred by the festival's growth and a need for more space that can handle all types of weather. Rock the South started 15 years ago as a relief fundraiser for a tornado that swept through Coleman County. But since then, it's turned into an annual concert series attended by thousands with lineups including Kid Rock, Hank Williams Jr., and Nickelback. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us the change. And looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. But Rock the South, again, started 15 years ago as a relief fundraiser. And we're expected to see next year it move to Decatur. We're now going to turn things over to our Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist, Jordan Dressman. Jordan, today has been beautiful all week, really. What can we expect for Thursday night football tonight?
Yeah, it has been a beautiful week across the Tennessee Valley, but I would say today was probably the best day we have seen so far this week. Why? Because it was a little bit cooler across the Tennessee Valley. We also lost a lot of the humidity through the course of the afternoons. Our winds had a bit more of a northerly component today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days, ushering in some slightly drier air to the area, which means it just simply was not as humid. 79 degrees right now in Huntsville, 80 degrees in Scottsboro, 75 already in Fort Payne. That's nice. 81 degrees right now in Florence, 81, 80 respectively for both Fort Pulaski and Fayetteville. Let's talk about Thursday night football. Beautiful weather for that. Can't wait for this. 75 at 7, 70 by 8, 67 by 9, 66 degrees at 10 p.m. We're going to maintain that mostly clear sky through the duration of the evening as well. So I think that's going to make for a wonderful Thursday evening. And then as we head into the overnight, look at this. Temperatures actually drop off into the mid-50s tonight. I've got a low temperature right around 56 degrees. But what about Friday? What about Friday night football? It's also the first weekend of October and the beginning of many folks' fall break. To say the least, this weekend is an important one. We'll talk about it in great detail here in just a bit.
Thank you, Jordan. We've learned the family of a teen injured in Priceville, a chase that left another teen dead, is suing the suspect. Braxton Wales, we've learned, was injured in a crash that also killed 17-year-old Tristan Hollis. Wales' family is suing Archie Hale. He is the suspected driver of that car involving those teens. Hale has been charged with murder, and the officer involved in the chase was fired by the Priceville Police Department, we've learned earlier this week. An 84-year-old man has been indicted on attempted murder charges after allegedly trying to kill his son back in July. According to police, Charles Lewis, the man that we would like to show you, but Charles Lewis is the man, had been involved in a dispute with his son when he was shot back. There he is, shot in the back. He was being held at the Limestone County Jail, but is now out on bond. Authorities are still searching for a man who escaped from his job site in Huntsville while serving time behind bars. Philip Deason was last seen around 6 p.m. Tuesday evening. Here's a picture of Mr. Deason. He's described as 5 foot 9 inches tall, white male with red auburn hair and blue eyes. When he escaped, according to authorities, he was wearing blue jeans, a ball cap, and a blue and white shirt. Deason has been incarcerated since 1999 for theft of property. Authorities urge anyone who may have information on Deason's whereabouts to contact local law enforcement or contact a DOC at 1-800-831-8825. The Army's Criminal Investigation Division is asking for the public's help in solving the 2013 killing of an officer stationed at Redstone Arsenal. Officials have increased the reward to $25,000 for credible information that leads to the arrest and conviction of whoever killed U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Alonzo McGee. Back on January 4th of 2013, McGee was shot 17 times outside his home in Owens Cross Roads. Neighbors found the 44-year-old active duty service member, but he died at the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call 256-53-CRIME or Army CID's Redstone Resident Unit at 706-577-6883. Florence man facing assault charges after police say an argument with his brother led to a shooting. Javante Zachary, pictured here, was taken into custody this morning and charged with first-degree assault. Police say multiple 911 calls around 11:50 last night reported gunshots near Mars Hill Road. Shortly after midnight, a man arrived at North Alabama Medical Center with gunshot wounds and wouldn't tell authorities who shot him. Court documents say Zachary, a short time later, admitted to shooting his brother after a fight in the apartment parking lot, saying he, quote, blacked out during the incident. Zachary held at the Lauderdale County Detention Center on a $30,000 bond. A man has died following a single crash last night in Huntsville, according to authorities. They've identified him as 53-year-old Samuel Robert Brooks IV of Huntsville. HEMSI spokesperson Don Webster confirmed it happened on the southbound Parkway access road between Martin and Gulf Roads. Webster says only one vehicle was involved and the crash may have been caused by a medical emergency. We'll continue to provide more updates on this story as they become available. The Florence Electricity Department says residents in part of the city will be without power late tonight. The planned outage is set to start at 10 p.m. and could last about 3 hours. Crews will be working in the East Ridge Estates area during that time. In a new twist, the popular music festival Rock the South making a move closer to Huntsville. The change spurred by the festival's growth and a need for more space that can handle all types of weather. Rock the South started 15 years ago as a relief fundraiser for a tornado that swept through Coleman County. But since then, it's turned into an annual concert series attended by thousands with lineups. Our Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo went out to Coleman to see how this will impact the economy.
Rock the South is moving away from Coleman after 15 years of country music festivals. They're bringing everything over to the Fields at Decatur, a 150-acre venue with campgrounds and professionally engineered rainwater drainage. In fact, co-founder Shane Quick says the new site will give the concert series more space and flexibility than the previous space here at York Family Farms. Moving to Decatur is not about leaving those roots behind. It's about building on them, Quick said in a statement. He added, after more than a decade of unforgettable moments, we now have the chance to take everything fans love about this festival and make it even bigger. And Michael McBrayer with Rock the South explains the need for more space.
We decided that we wanted to own the property that we have this festival on. So we've acquired 150 acres off of Gordon Terry Parkway in Decatur on a 4-lane highway that presents a great opportunity to build the festival how it needs to be built, build proper drainage, create a site that is a little more weatherproof, that allows more drainage, allows more shade structure, allows more parking. It allows us to expand.
But residents who live close to the festival have mixed opinions. Some think the move to Decatur is the removal of an annual headache, but for others who provided event parking, it's the loss of a huge source of income.
You would find equal parts of glad that it's not going to be in our neighborhood this year. People came through here late at night and trash was everywhere, to those that were involved in the process saying, yes, but in the long run, it was worth it.
Resident Stuart Rowan parked up to 1,200 cars on each night of the festival, potentially earning up to $100,000. He says with Rock the South's growth, it was inevitable that they'd eventually find a new space.
Every year was different. And that was a problem for Rock the South, which I believe logistically is one of the reasons they moved away, because everything was dependent on the weather. And so if there was a lot of rain, they couldn't park as many cars on their property because of mud and problems like that.
With the new venue, Rock the South expects to be able to accommodate everyone who wants to come out. In Coleman, I'm Caleb Aguayo, FOX54 News.
Wow, what a way to start our Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
We found out about it like earlier this morning, right?
Yeah, it was. They announced it earlier this morning and kind of been chasing the story since then.
I know, and you went all the way out to Coleman, obviously, to gauge the community, and I would imagine it would impact the economy.
A good bit, I think. I think the festival itself did impact the economy for a while, and now that they're moving it, it's going to Decatur, but they still plan on helping out Coleman. They're going to give some of the proceeds to charities and things. I didn't quite catch how the economic perspective would shift, moving those, all those people away from Coleman, but at least there's a portion going back to it.
And now Decatur will have this festival, and they're making some big plans with less than a year out. I know we were talking about it earlier.
I know, they're talking about new shade structures, all kinds of new parking over there it's a field right now. They're going to be turning it into the venue, but they have a year to do that. It seems a little ambitious to me, but I'm hopeful.
Very ambitious. Thank you, Caleb, for your insight as
thank you.
always. Yes.
Congress's first role is to make sure the government operates.
We need to reopen the government.
Yeah, we're in day 2 of the government shutdown. Another Senate vote not set until tomorrow will take you to Capitol Hill for an early look. Back here in the Tennessee Valley, age has no limit for these athletic elders who assembled in the Rocket City. We've got the sights and sounds from the seniors up ahead.